Morning, folks. Happy Monday. Anthony Special here with Special Analysis for another edition of Unedited and on the Edge of the Market. We are going to start our week off as we normally do. We're going to look through the major markets, the broader major markets. We'll check out the Dow, the Nasdaq, the S&P, the Russell 2000. We'll look at gold, oil futures, Bitcoin on the dollar index. So that's what we typically start our week off with, and we'll pick up there. And of course, throughout the week, we're going to add along the way, looking at other sectors as well. The reason I typically start off here is because these are the first and foremost things that are typically looked at. So having a broad stroke idea of what they are, where you can find information about them, should serve to be very, very valuable to you. Now, not only do I produce this video for you, I also post all of these in my TradingView account, which you can find by searching for Special Analysis. I'm going to also show you how you can do that and follow me so you get notified every time I update a chart, do some analysis, share a trade idea, so on and so forth. So let's get started. Open up the charts here. Let me hone in on TradingView real quick just to get that out of the way. When you go to TradingView and you simply look for Special Analysis, you'll see a picture of myself and my wife. And this basically gives you all the breakdown of the information I have here to share with you. So these are going to cover all the major markets, my commentary on them, some other trade ideas, things of that nature that you can find very, very useful. So there's lots and lots here that I update on a weekly basis. So feel free to find me, Special Analysis at tradingview.com. And there's plenty here for you to go through. And again, you'll get notified via email every time I post something or make updates. So it's not like you'll have to go looking for them. They'll actually come to you if you have that set up. First and foremost, we're going to take a look at the Dow. So you can see we've obviously been trending to the downside here. Impulse followed by some correction, followed by some impulse. We've anticipated the correction or the short covering or the relief rally bounce that we have seen in the past, week or two. So this did not come as a huge surprise. We are anticipating it, in fact, but we are seeing some hesitation here. So price had come back up, tested this blue channel structure, and is just kind of hovering around it. Tried to close above it this week, failed and closed below it this week, not giving us a confirmation in either direction. So, there's really no actionable trade idea, at least that meets my criteria. But for those of you who are trading smaller time frames or have a higher risk tolerance, you should know that there is, in fact, some support and resistance structures in and around the area here that price is likely to be reactive to. And that's where it comes into play in this particular market. Next up, Nasdaq. Nasdaq prompted 2 weeks ago a long opportunity. However, this is what we call a counter trend trade. What does that mean? So the overall trend is down. Similar to the Dow, here's your impulse, your correction, your impulse. So we're anticipating some kind of correction. Did we get all of it already, or is there more to come? We don't know the answer to that. But we did exhibit some weakness towards the close of this week. Price has continued to stay above this black channel structure. So that is a good sign that price could still push from here. But again, it's counter trend. We are trading against the trend. For some of you, maybe that's acceptable. For me, I would prefer to be with the trend only because it's a little bit of an extra insurance policy that we're on the right side of the trade. Now, can a trend change? Of course it can. We know that. But for the most part, we are building structures that are traveling in the downward motion. So I'm going to stick to looking for short opportunities as opposed to trying to buy a falling market. This is not investing, obviously. This is trading. If we were value investing, we would look to buy things as they get beat up. But in this moment, we are obviously looking for opportunities to take trades that could last a couple days to even a couple weeks. But the only thing I see here that could be entertainable is to buy this market long. If the support holds for this week, you will find support somewhere in the 12.425 area. If we settle below that, then obviously we have much further to fall in the coming weeks, but we'll see what happens. S&P 500, next up on the hit list. So, also had a breakout a couple weeks ago. I always add a 1% buffer for confirmation and also for targeting. Price has literally basically kind of come and just touch our 1% buffer of what would have been a target. Obviously, you could see where the price closed to where the buffer was. There was very, very little reward to entertain any amount of risk. It just didn't make sense. So with that being said, obviously this was not an entertainable idea. I just did it. I showed you this just so you could see it. But prices kind of tested some form of resistance. We're going to see if it pushes down. Obviously there was weakness Friday. Could find some support this week around 4,000. If we break below that, then we continue lower. But again, similar pattern, impulse, correction, impulse, anticipating the correction. So all of this is able to be anticipated by simply following the trend, understanding how to analyze the price action, and understanding what is likely to come next. It's just pattern recognition over and over and over again. Russell 2000, similarly popped up and broke here. Price had come and fallen, retested this channel of support, pushed back up. Again, counter trend. I mean, everything is trending down. I don't see something here that makes me excited to buy. Could it pop? Sure. Again, big picture, impulse. I would call this consolidation more than a correction. Impulse, maybe a correction. Impulse. Here comes the correction or some consolidation. So this could stagger on for quite a while. You could see the Russell traded sideways here for several weeks, fell, traded several months, sideways, fell, and maybe we're going to, again, enter a sideways pattern here if it continues. Here nor there, it is what it is. I am still more interested in shorting opportunities than I am in buying opportunities at this point. I just want to be on the same side of the overall trend. Gold futures. We have this big channel structure on the way down. We did break here. If price continues to close below this heavy teal channel, we could get a push lower. It's been hovering around here now for 2 weeks. Whether it stays or goes, I don't know. I mean, you can see big picture down. Maybe that's a correction. Now we're into the next big picture to go lower. Gold has been a little bit finicky. It's not correlating with or not correlating against anything else at the moment. We had this big pop, which we navigated really well. But beyond that, it's been kind of a tough market. It's just not trending beautifully. This pop here we nailed. But outside of that, this has been a little bit tougher to try to get this to cooperate with us. So, we'll see if this resistance here holds and we run into this area, we should get a push down. But even if we break up, I mean, we have tons of resistance to get through before we go much higher. So it'll be interesting to see as this plans out. I don't really see anything actionable unless you're a higher risk trader. You just want to sell resistance and see if you can capture a little bit of the move. That's up to you. It's not my style. It's not the way I would set it up. Crude oil finally gets the pop. We close on a weekly basis above 117. We've clear for takeoff. So this should offer us what would be a 3 to 5 month buy signal towards the 2008 high, which is at $147. If we clear $147, we would then look probably to about 190 would be our next target. But for right now, we don't want to put the cart in front of the horse. We do have an active buy signal. We are looking for this market to head back up and to at least double top at 147, the 2008 high. Members of my Special Report program at Traders Agency will actively be taking advantage of this trade. I have some options set up for them to mimic this trade. It should work out very nicely as long as it follows through. Understanding that, of course, there are no guarantees, but from a technical perspective, this does look like it's going to be off to the races for us. So we're very, very excited to finally see crude oil break out of this tightening, coiling pattern that it's been suffering now for quite a few weeks on the back of Russia invading Ukraine. So that's that. Bitcoin still exhibiting a fair amount of weakness. We had navigated a short position on this channel extension, worked out beautifully. Price is just kind of fumbling around. You can see it just gradual pressure keeps pushing it lower and lower and lower. Perhaps we're going to retest the area of support that we've already traded to in previous weeks. I normally don't, I don't have any interest in retrading the same setup twice. Once it's worked for me once, that's good enough. I'm happy to put, tie my hands behind my back and let that one go. So I'm not actively looking to place any trades right now. Bitcoin, we did again navigate that short really nicely, but at this point, we'll just wait to see what it does. If it, creates some type of new opportunity, I will certainly let you know that meets my criteria. And last but not least, the dollar index, finding a bit of congestion here. So this is the big picture. This goes back to 2015. This was our COVID-19 high. We tried to break out of it. We did not get a confirmation on a weekly basis, and price is now retracing back down. So we'll see what happens. I mean, the dollar, on any weakness we've experienced with the broader markets, the dollar seems to found strength. So the market's having a little bit of a reversal at the moment, or some kind of support. You could see as it's taking this relief rally or short covering rally, that the price of the dollar has softened a little bit with that. But again, this past week, the prices of this overall stocks have come down a little bit, and you can see the price of the dollar popped up a little bit. So we're watching this closely to see how it correlates or decorrelates with the broader market. If this breaks out, big picture, we have some resistance up here in and around the 110 area that's descending slightly. Just a few other notable things. .com boom bust 2000 was up and around this area. Great Recession made a double top here before it fell. And then again, obviously the COVID-19 spike here. So we're watching the dollar closely because we realize that this has been heavily affected by all the funny money, if you would, that has been pumped into the market. So we'll, again, keep you up to date on this. But outside of that, that kind of covers the overall weekly broader market update. So that gets you started for the week. If you have questions, comments, concerns, looking for some analysis or whatever you may need, please feel free to reach out to me, info@specialanalysis.com. I would be more than happy to help you. You can always find myself, my colleagues, Josh Martinez and Ross Gibbons at tradersagency.com as well. All this is within our daily emails. You can find all that information. So please feel free to use us. We are here to help you. And if you found this video slightly entertaining, slightly informational, slightly enjoyable, I would appreciate if you could below like, share, subscribe, do all that fun social stuff so that others can enjoy it as well, as I put this all together on a weekly basis for free. Tomorrow we will recap on some of the open positions we've been watching over the past several weeks or so. We've had some really great trades come to fruition for us. We've had a few that we've managed well. I think our stop out, our one trade that stopped out, it was like a 3.5% or 3.25% loss. So, I want you guys to all see the process of analyzing the chart, all the way through executing a trade and managing it so that your risk is as limited as possible, and your opportunity to make money is as great as possible. So we'll be covering that tomorrow, so I hope you're able to return and watch tomorrow's video. So I look forward to seeing you then. Have a beautiful and blessed day, and we'll talk tomorrow.